Actors, we've all got issues, so let's talk about them. I'm Juan Ayala, and welcome to Actors with Issues. Each week, we bring you interviews with actors from across TV, film, and Broadway, taking many deep dives into their careers and getting into the successes, the struggles, and of course, the issues that they face as actors. That's enough about us. Let's dive into the episode. Today's guest is an actor you know from the originals, The Purge, Wu Assassins, and Fistful of Vengeance, and he's back on the CW in the highly anticipated prequel series, Walker Independence. Please welcome to the stage Lawrence Kao. Lawrence, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for having me.
So before we dive in, we always throw some rapid fire questions over in a game called Getting to Know You. So the first one is coffee or tea,
Coffee.
film or TV,
Um, oh man, that's hard. TV,
drama or comedy,
drama,
hero or villain,
villain,
stage acting or screen acting.
stage.
What actors have the biggest influence on you?
Man, you know what? I can't answer that. That's so hard. I feel like every time I watch a new show, like another
Right.
actress pops up or another actor pops up because acting is just like it can be so many different things. So it's hard for me to
Mhm.
answer.
What is the last show that you binge watched?
Better Call Saul.
Good choice.
I'm
Such a
very,
great.
very, very upset that they don't have this sixth season on Netflix. So I haven't finished it all.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
No, yeah.
What was your first non-acting job?
Um, First non-acting job. Um, I I I did a quality control for DVD players.
If you could have lunch with any actor, dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh man. Um, um, oh my gosh, why can't um
It's the
freaking
words
what's
rapid
his name?
fire.
I know.
It puts the pressure on.
When it's rapid, I can't think of their names. It's so dumb. I know Robin Williams. So
It
stupid.
happens a lot. Don't worry.
You're gonna have to cut it and just like jump to the name.
What movie never fails to make you laugh?
Super bad.
And what movie never fails to make you cry?
Um, Up.
And it is spooky season, so what is your favorite scary movie?
Oh man, that's tough. Um, um, oh God, Midsommar.
Oh, good
Yeah,
choice. And lastly, describe your most memorable audition in 3 words, and memorable can be good or bad, so it's up to you.
in 3 words. Exciting, unexpected, thrilling.
And so I want to go back to your audition for Walker Independence. So I'm sure there was, given the era of COVID and the Zoom era we're in, I'm sure there's lots of self tapes and virtual sessions and things like that. But what was your experience like auditioning for the show? How did it come your way?
Yeah, obviously it was a Zoom audition, and it just came out of nowhere. I read the script. I did the I did um a self tape for it. Got a call back for it. Went on, met the producers. Really the really awesome people behind the project. Um, I think after the first callback and meeting the people behind everything, that's when I was like, oh man, this project is gonna be uh, something awesome. Like everyone behind it is so cool. And then just being able to talk backstory about my character made me more invested into it. And so after that, we had a network test, which was also through Zoom. Booked it after that.
And once you got that call or email that you booked the role, what was like your reaction? What was going through your head? Who's the first person you called?
Um, my mom. Every time like I book something huge, I always let my mom know. I guess my first reaction was, man, this role requires a lot of responsibility. Because you never really see characters that look like or characters that are Asian that are like fully fleshed out in a Western,
Mhm.
and the responsibility to take that on was a little intimidating at first, but once you know why you're there, and if the base note of everything that you're doing is about storytelling, then it gets easier.
So the last time we saw you on the CW was in the originals, which, as many know, is like a supernatural fantasy series that was a spin-off to the Vampire Diaries. Meanwhile, Walker Independence is much more of a grounded drama. So besides that genre shift, what was the biggest difference you noticed between working on each show?
Um, well, the first show, I think that was in 2015. So that was like about 7 years ago. And I feel like my craft has definitely improved from then.
Mm.
Um, I think as a younger actor, I was more focused on trying to do things correctly, like getting things absolutely correct before I get to set, instead of it being something that's collaborative. I think I worked more on presentation um, when I was younger. And maybe in the originals, it was just more like, okay, how am I going to do this scene? How am I going to play this scene? Instead of letting things hit me, and instead of exploring all the other things that are happening. I guess exploring story, exploring like circumstance, and just using my imagination to build the subconscious of the character. And so I feel like now, I know it's just an entirely different kind of approach to work. Yeah, I think that would just probably be the biggest difference.
So, with Walker Independence being a period show compared to the original series Walker, what would you say are like maybe some challenges that came your way, and maybe some lessons learned while on set, given that sort of shift between time periods?
You know what? I don't know. I don't think there was necessarily anything that was like really difficult to troubleshoot. In
Mm.
fact, there was like probably less things to think about. Um, I guess you just have to get rid of the idea of like technology, and like you're just out there in the open, like in the elements. And so
Mm.
we're not thinking about shooting cars. We're not thinking about like
Right.
elevated elements of what it is to make a contemporary TV show. We just
Mm.
have the natural sunlight. We have like the energy of what it was to be in the 1870s. And I think that energy and that grittiness helps develop our characters. And so in a sense, it's sort of like beneficial to the development of like how we work in the story and on our characters.
Mm. It's
Mhm.
interesting you say that because looking at, I mean, some of the shows that I worked on a series a few years ago called The Blind Spot, and it was
Mhm.
very sort of tech based, and there was like monitors everywhere on set, and that was always like an extra thing they always had to worry about, and continuity and all of that. And like you're saying, sort of in when you're outside shooting outside or on the set, it's like very sort of just dependent of just yes, the sun does change, lighting does change when you're outside, so
Yeah.
it would on our show. It's not, you're not always trying to capture golden hour at
Yeah.
all
Yeah. And
times of
it
the day.
feels it feels very like it feels like theater. You're
Mhm.
just given whatever's on stage, and you just run with it. We don't need any like special kind of crazy effects. Everything's just so practical. And I think that's what makes it less worrisome. Like, I don't have pockets in my costume, so I can't hold my cell phone and pull it out and snap photos or do anything. I'm just
Yeah,
like there.
yeah. You have to
Yeah.
kind of just like be present in that moment. Like you're on stage,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't have your cell phone in your pocket, like you said.
Yeah, yeah. You have to be absolutely present. And
Yeah.
I think being in that setting and in that environment, and production design is just so awesome on the show. It just makes you feel like you don't even have to act.
Mm. So I
Yeah.
know as far as production goes, you guys are about halfway through the season as far as filming. We've only seen just the premiere at this
Mhm.
point, but without getting into spoilers, is there anything you're looking forward to for audiences to see?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just the development of all the characters in Independence. Everyone has such a cool backstory. Everyone has such like an individual story to tell. Like each character can have their own like show.
Mm.
Everyone is just so layered, and I'm excited for audience members to see what happens to Kai, to have things unfold over the course of this first season, and just to have for audience members to feel all kinds of emotions, heartbreak, um, um, just the ups and downs of what it is to be a human being. And I think one of the biggest, like, I guess, adjectives for each character in the show is like courage.
Mm.
And I feel like when audience members watch um, the development of these characters throughout the first season, I hope they get a glimpse of what it feels like to be courageous, and so that they can bring that into their own lives.
And given the name of our show being Actors with Issues, like I said before, we always do sort of like to shed a light on some of the things that actors face on the day to day. So, what comes to mind as an obstacle that you've faced that you could share some insight about how you overcame it or are dealing with it?
I guess one of the obstacles being on shooting on set is that, like, I think I spoke about it earlier too. It's just like coming to set feeling like you need to have something already set in stone, feeling like it has to be a complete thing. But like over time, learning to understand that everything is just so collaborative. There's so many different pieces on set that are moving, and that there's like this synergy in order to create this final shot. It's not like theater. Like when you go on stage, it's like, you gotta go. Like that's the final shot. And so letting go of this, the rigidness of of needing it to be a specific way, and letting that go, and just having fun and playing on set, I feel like, is probably the biggest thing that I've learned. That's the only way we can make each take something special, you know
Mhm.
because in the beginning, when you're doing like 20 takes, you're just going to get tired. It's just going to be so monotonous. And so being able to change that, uh, to have that paradigm shift about what it is to make something on set was, I think, one of the biggest things for me.
And similarly, is there anything that comes to mind as something that you know now about whether it's acting or show business or any aspect of the industry that you wish you'd learned earlier on?
I think it's just not to, like, take it so seriously and not to put it on such a high pedestal.
Mhm.
Usually people see, like, work in the entertainment industry as something that's like, oh my gosh, you're gonna go do that. You're gonna try to be an actor, but, like, in the end, it's just a job. It's just like what
Mhm.
everybody else does. Like, the the amount of, like, work ethic and rejection that it takes to be anything else. To be a lawyer, to be a doctor, to be like to hold any other job, it's just as challenging. So I think to look at this career and this craft as just a job makes it less easier to grasp.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely takes that like
Yeah.
pressure off because
Hmm.
we've done, oh God, we have like episode 150 around the corner of the
Yeah.
podcast. And in all those conversations, so many folks who are series regulars or veterans of the industry who've been around for so long often talk about that, how their advice to young actors is like similar to what you said, don't take it so seriously, and also like just have fun because it
Yeah.
is like the auditioning is I feel like it's a pretty age old saying, like the auditioning is the job. Once you book the job, that's like where you get to play. And
Yeah.
just taking that pressure off like allows you to have fun with the audition instead of like, if I don't book this, then like I'm not an actor,
Yeah.
I'm a fraud. Like you have all
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
like thoughts and all of that coming your way. But looking ahead, you've done so many different types of genres already, and different types of projects. You've done like sort of action-based things. You've did dramas, supernatural stuff. Is there anything you haven't done yet that you are looking to do in the future? Do you want to dabble into writing or directing anything behind the scenes?
um I mean, I'd love to dabble in a comedy more. And I wrote something with a friend of mine. We just got funding for it, and so we're going to
Mm.
shoot it in probably the beginning of next year, or once the series wraps. So definitely dabbling more into writing, but writing in itself is another different kind of beast as well. And so, yeah, it's tough, but we finally wrote something, and we're going to try to make it. And I guess I want to do a show on Broadway. I want to do more theater.
Mhm.
I feel like every time I do some theater, it just, levels up my game. It's like going into the gym, like getting in your reps.
So before we go, we always have a few non-rapid fire game questions. So the pressure's off
Good,
for
good,
that
good, good.
one. Called in a game called Now That We Know You, since we've gotten to chat for a bit. So fill in the blank. If I weren't working in the arts, I would be.
A like a counselor slash therapist.
Hmm. What role have you had the most fun playing?
Tommy Wah in Wu Assassins and Fistful of Vengeance.
What is the best advice you've ever gotten?
Um, just to uh, be in acceptance of everything.
Hmm. And what is the worst advice you've ever gotten?
Uh, don't be an actor.
And lastly, in 10 words or less, what advice would you give to a young actor?
Figure out why you're doing it in the first place, and make sure that purpose is something that not only just serves yourself, other other people around you. Sorry, that was not um, less than 10 words.
It's okay. We'll hyphenate a lot. It'll be like a powder
Okay,
song.
great. Awesome.
Well, Lawrence, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. Social media, Instagram, where can folks find you if they want to give you a follow?
You can just follow me on Instagram and Twitter. It's at I am Lawrence Kao.
Awesome. And folks, you know the drill. You can find us on Instagram at Actors with Issues. Give me a follow at Juaniala Official. You can find more of our show on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts every Monday with bonus episodes on Thursdays. And you can catch new episodes of Walker Independence Thursdays on the CW. I'm Juaniala. This is Actors with Issues, and we'll see you next week.